But we need to crack on. I've got a meeting at 3:30. So
I'm quite a little bit offended now, but I can handle that.
Listen, channel that energy in all the right directions.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm not actually.
Let's go.
All right.
Hi there. Welcome to Directors Debrief, episode 23. 23? You don't know?
23.
I'm okay with it, with you not calling me that. Yeah. Before we get started, I've promised these to Ram. I had to tell Ram the surprise, but I've promised these two a surprise.
Okay.
I've told Ram what it is, and it's kind of aimed at you.
So it's just a surprise for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Look away. Close your eyes.
Do you know what it is? You definitely know what
Ladies and gentlemen, for his fiancée.
Oh, God. No. Oh, my word.
For his fiancée. For him.
What was it? What a guy.
Do you like Prosecco?
A little bit.
Okay. I feel like I've seen you
this
drink
doesn't look
Prosecco
like
once.
Prosecco. This looks like the real deal.
Yeah.
This is the real deal. Don't play it down as
okay.
Prosecco.
I've asked Ram to blur these in case YouTube suppresses it.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I mean,
first and foremost, congratulations.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Mate, you didn't have to.
It's all right. I also said this was going to be disappointing. I hope this isn't disappointing, but let's hide these. Well, let's just put these there. Congratulations on your engagement.
Yeah.
I said it's disappointing because, as you may have noticed, you made a big deal on the last it's been a month now, podcast about your birthday, and I haven't gotten you a gift. So this kind of serves as two gifts.
Mate, this is the nicest thing.
I want to walk you through my thought process so I can live justify why I've only a month late got you a gift, and I'll be honest, it's a really nice bottle of whiskey, but ultimately it's
You got me flowers on my birthday, from what I remember.
That was the team. Like, on my birthday, the team gets me something, and you've, in general, got me something as well. And I've been feeling bad for a while.
Yeah.
But the story behind it is, a long, long time ago, I thought of what I think is the perfect gift for you. Mm-hmm. I might still tell you what it is. Okay. And I should have just bought it then and there. Mm-hmm. But I didn't, and in the run-up to your birthday, I was going on to buy it. This is all Amazon's fault. Because Amazon offers next-day delivery. I was like, I'll be fine. I'll order it a day before it'll arrive. Happy days. And as I was going to buy it...
Supply chain issues.
No, I went to read the reviews.
Yeah.
And you like your car, right? Mm-hmm. And it was something for your car. And this review said it messed up the car. Ooh. And I was like, I can't do this because I don't want to mess up your car. But it was a series of you know how some of the new BMWs and Audis have interior LEDs that wrap around.
Okay.
And stuff.
Yeah.
So there's one specifically. I don't know if you want to say what your car is on camera, but for your car. Uh-huh. And so it wraps around into all around the center console.
Oh wow! Like ambient lighting kind of thing.
Ambient light. It was an ambient lighting kit for your car.
Nice.
And the only one that didn't have a review for damaging the car was £400.
Oh,
and I love you. But
yeah. Trust me, I'm not worth that.
I think you are, just not to me. No, I'm kidding.
No,
so I was like, what's a perfect gift to get as a replacement, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought about this for long, and I really tried to come up with something, and I went, aha, I've got it, right? And I went to buy it, and then I was just like, no, this is the perfect gift to buy somebody who's just got a house.
Okay.
And that's not happening for you till a while, a couple of months later.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun things happening. So we will celebrate that at a later date. So I hope you can make do.
Definitely.
With these.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these though.
Yeah.
And keep them for the new house.
Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah. Someone coming and want to talk to you.
Oh.
Okay, can we pause that? So what I'm going to do is I am going to save this.
Yeah.
I'm going to save this for when I move in, and you and I are going to have a drink.
Yeah.
I'm still working my way through whether I like whiskey or not.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
I think it's one of those things, a bit like coffee. When you first have coffee, Ram and I were having this conversation. It's like you got to force yourself to like coffee a bit. Yeah. And then you slowly get addicted to it. Yeah. Hopefully I don't get addicted to this. But no, it really means a lot. So thanks, man.
No worries. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. I will be making many engagement jokes. I've already started, and that will continue. Yeah. But this is not the Ash's engagement podcast as much as I would actually enjoy that a lot.
How thankful I am.
Yeah.
That it's not. So, what kind of podcast is it today?
Today, I don't know. It's we do a business podcast.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Why is Bitcoin tanking? Because, hold on, I've put my life savings in Bitcoin. It looks like I'm about to go bankrupt. You held a gun to my head and you went, Sam, put all your money in Bitcoin.
Is that what happened?
It's the next big thing. And here I am bankrupt.
I remember...
Just for the record, Ash advised that Bitcoin was going places.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It wasn't even advice. It was just a comment.
Yeah, a passing comment.
And I'm never
why do my future grandkids...
I've never been more bullish.
Yeah.
You just got to be resilient.
Yeah. Hold on. I nearly bought some. It went all the way down to 22 and it's back at 25.
Yeah. I mean, it will go up and down for a while. You know, this is a tough time in the economy.
Yeah.
As Joe, like kind of, not to make it a depressing conversation, but things are bad in the economy.
They are.
What's really happened is the pain that we were meant to feel back when COVID actually happened and the government bailed everyone out, giving everyone furlough and so on, especially in the US, handing people checks of like $1,000 just out of nowhere. That is now catching up with the economy. And all that increased stimulus in the economy is now catching up, where we're seeing stuff go up in price.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right?
Yeah.
It's one of our age-old conversations where you're a kid and you're like, oh, why can't the government print more money? Then everyone's rich. It's like, no, you do that.
Yeah.
Stuff gets expensive. And what's happening is the government in the US, the Fed, are saying, everything is going up in price. We're going to have to taper this stimulus down. And by doing that, even before they've not even done it yet, everyone is selling off. So we're facing a repercussion of what happened in 2020 that was saved by the Fed. It's not being saved by the Fed yet. They're going to come in. They're going to step up because you're saying you're losing your funds in Bitcoin. Yeah. There are a lot of stocks doing far worse. Shopify, for example, is doing incredibly bad. It's actually now worth less than one of its payment providers, Klarna.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, a lot of brands are suffering, and the issue is a lot of retirement funds put their money in these stocks.
Yeah.
So, are the government going to sit back and let retirement funds get the pounding for too long? Probably not.
Here's the question then. Because now people can point their fingers at e-commerce and call it a boom.
Yeah.
Which is very scary. Because,
a boom?
Well, think about it this way, right? I think during the pandemic, a crazy amount of e-commerce stores were opened. Crazy amount of Amazon accounts were opened.
Yeah.
And now when stock prices like Shopify dip, I think that raises some alarm bells. But in actual fact, what we're seeing in terms of, not from the creators of it, but the purchasers, the users of e-commerce is increasing, and it's staying that way. But I think that's a very scary thing. I think now you might see certain, we like to call them dinosaurs, point at e-commerce as the second it dipped and just go, see, told you it was a fad.
Yeah. Look, I look at anyone who monitors stock price and says that's how something is doing.
Yeah.
As just like, they don't know what they're talking about. Stock price is one thing, that's the market, that's people buy, selling. They don't really know what they're buying and selling in most cases, but they're buying and selling and the price goes up and down.
Yeah.
So you can have Amazon stock price, right? In 2020, it was booming, over 3,000 per share, and it was at a record high. At the moment, it's in the gutter a bit for Amazon.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize, and what people aren't doing, is they don't realize that Amazon is actually growing in user base even since 2020.
Yeah.
All the metrics are performing in the right way. Yes, it's going through a bit of slight slowdown in terms of growth, but overall, it's never been stronger. It has the largest user base. It has the most Prime members it's ever had. Yet the stock price is more than 50% down on its all-time high. So just to be clear, for those that say, look what's happening to Netflix's share price, look what's happening to Amazon and Shopify, they don't know the metrics internally.
Yeah.
They're just looking at what it's valued at, and valuation doesn't mean anything.
What do you think of what's going on with Netflix at the moment? I have some opinions on this, but what do you think about what's going on with Netflix? Share price is going down.
Yeah.
I think they're losing a couple of users. A couple million users?
Million, yeah.
As you do.
I think Netflix, they've got a bit of an issue because they're looking to launch an ad-free version of their platform, which I don't think is the way to go.
No.
I think, in my opinion, Netflix should be focusing on real good content and improving their content, because they're losing out to the likes of Disney, Amazon, Apple coming into the race like no one saw that coming.
Disney just burst onto the scene as if like Amazon, like Netflix and Amazon hasn't been there for so long. I was really impressed by how quickly those platforms took off. Disney had the backlog of content, sure.
Apple didn't.
Apple didn't.
No.
I was really, really impressed by those guys.
You know, one of the biggest takeaways that's going on at the moment. Like I monitor the like stocks and shares, crypto, everything like a hawk. Like I'm looking at everything regularly. Don't necessarily trade in it. I'm not a trader, but I'm monitoring it and seeing how the macro economy is doing. And what I think it's slowly teaching me over time is like, you can't just have good days. You can't, life can't just be perfect. And I know everyone thinks like this. Everyone thinks, you know, of course you can't, you know, you got to have the good and bad. But certainly what I gather from that world helps me in my personal life. And it genuinely does, because you start to realize like, you've got to have those rainy days. You've got to have those storms to get through and appreciate the good days. And people say, stocks and shares, it's just money, like relax. But it's livelihoods for people.
As you say, retirement funds for people.
Right. And currently things are bad. Really, really bad. Not to put a dampener on things. Things are bad. But things will get good one day. And the strong will survive. Not everyone will survive. Not all the companies will survive. Not all the cryptocurrencies hopefully survive, especially the fads. But there are good days to come in that sense.
So I'm curious, and you don't have to answer this. Do you invest money into stocks, shares, and index funds and stuff? Would you still advise somebody in this day and age to do that, given what's going on in the market?
Okay, so my belief on trading is that you have to have resilience in yourself, but you have to believe in what you're investing in. And what's been happening, in my opinion, today is there's been a lot of people simply investing in things they don't believe in or don't understand. They've not taken the time to understand. So essentially what that does is that turns stocks and shares and crypto into a casino. Coinbase is a casino. Your favorite trading app, Robinhood, is a casino. You might as well go put money on roulette, if I'm being frank. And that's what people were genuinely doing in 2021, 2020. They were just putting money where they thought, this looks like a hot thing. Everyone's moving up. Dogecoin, all of these things. Like that's what...
Victim of that.
I mean, it was a bit of fun as well, but that was what was happening. And people now say, but you know, the thing's in the gutter. Surely it's a good time. And my advice is, well, it could dip more. You know, things there. So when you go and invest, really invest in something that you have belief in and you can handle it fluctuating in volatility, and forget about the investment. Like I forget about my investments. I get excited when they go up, hopefully. Sometimes they do. But on the whole, I forget, and because I believe in them and I let them do their thing. I
mean, I forgot about my Bitcoin investment. So. Depending on how it goes, in a couple of months, I may as well forget about it. No, I'm kidding.
This is going to age well, I tell you.
Yeah, I hope so. Because, no, you're right. Because I do believe in Bitcoin. I do believe in... That's the main reason that convinced me to put my money behind it, is because the more I dug, and I didn't dig that deep, but the more I dug, the more I wanted it to be the future. And that's why it has my money. Not because I think it can be or anything like that, but because I want it to.
Yeah. And I think... Look, I'm not getting too biased, but I think the more you dig deeper and build your conviction, the more you'll realize it will be the future. And there is no second best or no other choice. It's like, spent thousands of hours learning it. Still got plenty more to learn. And I'm not saying it's everything, but it's incredible. And in the world we live in, it's all we've got. And that's why you've got to have that conviction. But it's not the only thing to invest in. Real estate, whatever you do, find the conviction. Find like, okay, is this a good investment, rather than hitting and hoping? Because then you'll be able to handle volatility and whatever takes it. And I look at our own business, for example. We go through good days, tough days, and so on. And the thing that gets me through those tough days, yes, we're in control more, is the conviction. And like believing in what we're doing here and so on. But how about you? What's your opinion on like investing at the moment? Where are you?
Look, first, before we do that, we'll have to look at a brief history into Sam's investment timeline.
Yeah.
And at some point, at some point in the past, I invested in a company that I worked for. I worked for them. I saw the inner workings of them, and I had real belief behind them and where they were going. And this is where I think you're right up to a certain point. I think if you are going to put your money behind something in particular, one thing, you need to have a bit more than conviction, like a bit more of an understanding as to what it's going to do and if the market needs it. Because I think that was the issue with me putting my money behind that particular company.
Yeah,
I loved working for that company. I loved the people there. I believed I was surrounded by geniuses, and I was actually. Those people were very, very smart, and they're really doing some awesome things. But I had some shares. I had some shares from when I joined. I joined very early on, and then I decided to buy some shares because they were cheaper than the shares. They weren't gifted to me. I had to vest and then pay for them at a reduced rate.
Okay.
And buying shares on the stock market was still cheaper than what I was being given by the company,
right.
if I understood correctly. And this is, again, it's a very complicated situation that I don't understand that much about. But I bought, it went up, and then it went back down, and then I sold at the same price because I was paying fees for holding the stock. So I was already about £40 down in just fees alone.
Okay.
So I got out whilst it was a good opportunity. And I loved that as an experience. I learned a lot. I genuinely recommend it. Like, if you're willing to pay £40 to invest some money just behind any brand, just to get familiar with the process, pick something stable, buy a few shares, and then sell. It doesn't matter whether you make money or if you lose some money, a little bit.
Is that company still around?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the period between you buying the shares and you selling them?
About 9 months.
Okay.
Approximately.
So this is where my opinion comes in, because I've done the same.
Yeah.
I've bought shares and sold them very quickly. And the thing here for me is, unless that company is going to go to the pot, which you wouldn't have bought those shares in the first place if you thought that.
I genuinely thought that.
If you thought that they were going to be around. A horizon needs to be longer than 9 months. Time horizon, in my opinion, should be 5 to 10 years minimum. That's where I
that's
see
a good
it.
point. But I have a question for you, right? So how many years did you say?
5 years.
Let's say 5 years times 12 months, and I was paying $9.99 in investment fees, management fees, whatever that was. I used a company. £600 that would cost me.
Yeah.
So you'd have to look for something that would make £601 or more to break even.
Yes.
In that time frame.
Yeah, but the idea is you should be the platform that you are using there can be used by people that are investing hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions, all the way down to £10. But there are other platforms out there that are free.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're limiting after you invest a certain point.
Okay. Because I didn't invest a lot. I invested £100.
So it's great at the start for these kind of platforms, but then what they do is they take a little bit of commission every time you buy. And they take little slices off there. So there's a lot of secret fees, and when you start hitting bigger numbers, that's where you got to be. So it's the idea is over time you're compounding, you're adding more into your investment portfolio and so on. And the $9.99 a month is a no-brainer. Hopefully, when I'm using it,
But you asked me on my opinion of it now, and that was the fact that I had a relatively unsuccessful run in. Investing has kind of put me off, but nothing will put me off more than the rate of inflation. And so now I'm thinking about what to do with money. And here's the thing. It's what to do with small scale money. This is what I'm talking about.
Relative to everyone.
Relative, I'm sure. To not just everyone, but to anyone. To some people, this amount of money might be a shit ton. To some, it might be very, very little. But I'm in a position where I'm not necessarily in debt, and I've worked for a long time to keep my expenses as low as possible, and now I have a slight surplus. Not much, but a slight surplus, and I don't want to keep it just as money.
Sure.
And it's not enough to go out and buy a house. That's a separate project of mine, a separate savings account that I'm working towards. But I've budgeted carefully for that. That leaves me with this other stuff. I'm putting it in a savings account. When I calculated it with compound interest and stuff over the next 5 to 10 years, it's great. But it does actually, if I keep a consistent rate, break even with the rate of inflation. And so that's good. It's better than keeping it as cash. But I've also been wondering, looking at something like the S&P 500. These are things that I think are much better than individual stocks and shares because it's the top 500 companies in America. And it's a much safer bet. Return is less. But again, it's one of those things where I've dipped my toe in the water and it hasn't worked. So it's the S&P and 500 scares me, even though it's a better option.
Of course it's going to scare you, yeah.
But I'm in a position where I'm not going to go, well, then I'll just keep it as money, because I know that's a scary option too. So that's where I stand. I'm in a very confused state.
And I think you're like a lot of people, including myself, where we're confused right now because things aren't good in stocks and shares.
Yeah.
Real estate looks like it's hitting a peak, apparently, although everyone's been saying that for the last 12 to 18 months.
I've heard that.
But it's getting very confusing, and the market is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So the last thing you want to do is feel like you've hit the top of the market. You don't want to keep your money in cash. Where do we put it?
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a lot of excess. A lot of people have money at the moment like that, and they don't know where to put it. And they're getting worried. They're worried they're losing their purchasing power.
Yeah.
Keeping it in cash, and they're worried they're going to lose more purchasing power by putting it in the S&P 500 or FTSE 500 and so on. So, yeah, I don't have an opinion of that. I'm still learning, and I think if anyone does know, they're probably going to be a genius, because it's a difficult situation. But my main thing, the main thing is resilience. People get very worried when there's downturns.
Yeah. Zoom out.
There will be companies that won't come back for sure. Like, that's just the nature of the world. But at the end of the day, the world keeps moving. The world keeps moving.
Zoom out. Your alloys are scuffed, but you're driving a Mercedes.
The economy needs a lot of rescuing and fixing up in the longer term, but no, things are looking good. What I will say, though, is that what we're going to see is a lot more tech companies that don't have enough cash, or have less cash being given to them. So I'm talking about the tech companies that have been unprofitable for many, many years, barely not even breaking even in the net, burning through cash. It's going to get difficult for them, and we're seeing that in America, where layoffs are already taking place.
Meta.
Huge. They started off saying we're going to slow down our hiring, and it's now gone into we're actually going to reduce our team.
Softens the blow.
But the thing that's happening here is you'll start to see these companies being more efficient with the teams they have. A lot of these companies became very bulky. They had all this cash they were buying, whereas now we're going to see them need to create a profit or show some kind of signs of veering towards profitability whilst remaining lean and mean. And I feel like tech should get back towards its old hard work grind rather than 4-day week. Let's chill
again with your
people just don't but I genuinely feel like this whole the 4-day week thing in the longer term for sure, but the way it was going in America is, some tech startups were showing off their HR benefits to investors rather than their actual product. And that was where there was a real disconnect. It's like, no, but what are you creating? Like, where's the product gone?
The thing is, with companies such as Facebook, I actually don't, Meta, I don't think it's a huge problem for them. I'm more worried about the likes of Netflix, because Meta's biggest selling thing is what? Data? It can sell a bunch of data. Same with Google. The companies that have all of this data that it can sell, and behavioral patterns, which is like repeat customs, and their product is free. And so people are going to stay with them. People aren't going to, if you're cutting back, you're like, oh, times are tough, I better cut my expenses. You're not going to look to Instagram, because you're not spending much money on Instagram. They're making money off you in other ways, but you're not going to spend money. And so I think those companies are going to be okay, because they can just switch off one tap and show the pressure of the other.
Okay, just on that.
Go on.
How do these companies make their money?
By selling these data to advertisers. Yeah.
Now, Facebook and Meta are becoming, based on iOS issues and recent things, they're becoming less performance-based marketing, and they're becoming more branding advertising. Now, during a downturn, yes, the user may still be on those platforms, but the advertisers, if they have X marketing budget and they want to kind of extract the most ROI
I didn't think of that, dude.
Are they going to be putting that into Facebook and Instagram, where they get less performance marketing? Or are they going to be looking to things like Google, Amazon advertising, where they can see the ROI? These are questions that could
very good questions too.
And that's an angle.
And they might try and fix that by Instagram's commerce platform, what they've been trying to do for a while now. I don't know why it hasn't taken off as much as it has, but I'm sure there's a few kinks in the armor that they're going to fix before they fully launch it. I have confidence. What I did want to say, though, is that I'm worried about the likes of Netflix, because they're, to me, probably one of the first expenses that you're going to want to reduce as a consumer.
Sure.
And but that's their main source of income. And then they spend a shit. Like Netflix has been in the losses for a long, long time. People look at that and freak out. But until there's a recession, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Because they have that money coming in and they're just reinvesting into the business. They're buying more content. They're buying content to show on their platform. But if they start to lose their user base, then they're royally screwed, especially in a recession. But they go hand in hand. In a recession, people try and cut costs. That could be one of the costs that they cut.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And maybe that's one of the reasons they're doing this ad platform.
Maybe. The thing that I think they're doing that there's a big backlash on, and don't sue me, Netflix, but I do this, but it's password sharing. They're trying to bill people for password sharing.
Right.
And I think that's something that you can't turn a blind eye to for too long. But Netflix, maybe you should have kept a blind eye to it for a little bit longer. Because they know that I'm not in...
I don't understand why they allowed that to happen in the first place.
Yeah, so that's something you should have controlled at the beginning, or something much later down the line. I don't think they could have seen the recession coming, but maybe they should have waited things out. But they've known. Yeah. They can track IP addresses, and my account is being used the radius of my account is being used across 400 miles.
You travel a lot.
I actually do travel a lot, but that's not it. This is not a confession, and you cannot use this in a court of law, but that's not it. But in 3 minutes, I have to go into a meeting, so we're going to have to wrap this up.
We're going to wrap it up. So anyway, what's the motto of this? I think I gathered zoom out. Zoom out. Don't overthink personal financing because... Well, I'm saying us two don't get it, but like you said, I think a lot of people don't get it. So take it day by day. Yeah.
You're engaged now, so ladies, back off. You can tell all those other side hoes.
Those comments that were coming through, the DMs. Yeah, I had to...
How much trouble are you going to get now? I'm joking.
But no, I think the main thing is zoom out, chill out, get
stop
your head
DMing
down.
Ash.
Yeah, stop DM, or maybe, no. And... yeah, just get on with your hard work. Head down. You know, this is going to be going to be a tough few years, but a really exciting few years.
Yeah. You better work.
Yeah.
You've got the same 24 hours as
you got to put the work in. Yeah. Beyonce.
Right, make that into a reel and get us in trouble. We need the publicity. I don't.
No, you got in trouble for the last one.
Did I? What was it?
What did he say?
So
don't delete comments. It's all good.
Some of the along the lines of, I can't remember saying that. He's got the audacity to say this, and that.
Why would you delete it?
Why would you? Did you not? Why didn't you tell us about this, Ram?
I thought you might have seen it. Because you liked it after the comment.
I thought you might have liked the comment. No, listen, I really don't care about that. I know we're about to sign off, but I really don't care about that because I didn't come from Kim Kardashian's fucking background. Like, I do have the audacity.
Yeah.
Come for me. We have the audacity to say shit like that. I don't care. Huh? That's very kind of you, but don't. Screenshot it and put it as a post.
Unless it's racist, hate, or anything like that.
Straight up hate crime, get rid of it.
Yeah.
But if it's just people like, how do you have the audacity? Come for me. I don't care. Do you want to sign off the episode?
Yeah, cheers. So thanks, guys, for listening to episode 23. It's all been about resilience and hard work. But if you liked it, comment, subscribe, do what you do. Send an email to our team and say thanks for the podcast as well. They work real hard on the stuff behind the scenes. Sometimes.
Better.
Yeah. But been great. And please let us know what you want to hear in the future podcasts. Cheers. Take care.